think he was the only guy I've ever seen in a race car, full chat around the corner with his eyes closed. He would just be, hands on the wheel and just like, "Hey, Dad, you sleeping there?" He's like, No, I'm just chilling. Dad got that TR4 and we started racing together. Having him at the track, it gave him something to look forward to until he had been re-diagnosed with prostate cancer. And so we said, okay, well, let's start passing these things on.
I said, "Do you mind keeping the car an extra week? I can't make it down there this weekend, but I'd love to come down the weekend after that." And Bob said, "Oh, I'd love for you to come down because I want to introduce you to the car." Bob was 65 when he bought the car, raced 10 years. When I bought the car, I was just a few months short of 65. So we'll see if I race 10 years or more.
Even though he lives in Minnesota, he and his wife got in their truck and drove all the way down to Austin, Texas. I think we spent 10, 15 minutes, Dad, very meticulously as he was, go through the car with Greg and all the things you need to do to start it up and what to look for. And
tire pressure, temperature in and out of all the tires and everything. He kept really good logs.
The whole time you could see Greg like, "No, I want to get in the car and drive it."
He said, "Don't you want to take it out for a spin first?"
And he just took off out of the garage, ripped around the neighborhood for a while. He took right to it. He had a pretty big smile on his face when he came back. He pulled it right onto his trailer. Of course, Greg, he knows Triumphs in and out, so very fortunate that we passed that car on to Greg for him to care for.
Before we get to Delaware, Texas to Minnesota, and everything in between.
So when we were at supper, Greg said, "What are your plans for the car?" And I said, "Well, I'm looking at where I'm going to do school."
And we got him hooked up with CVAR to take our driver school in September of that year. So Greg, again, after he trailed the car home, trailered it back to Texas, joined us at Eagles Canyon Raceway up in Slidell, Texas. And we immediately introduced him to all the Triumph guys. Then, of course, all the guys that knew Dad and knew his car, they wanted to know, okay, who's this new guy? Who's driving Bob's car?
So finally, the guy that was in charge of the school came down to me after my morning session. He said, "We're letting you run with the other guys in the final 2 sessions on Sunday." Bob was, "Where's the tape? We got to put an X on this car." I had about 20 minutes to turn the car around, refuel, check everything out to get back out on the track. And it was kind of fun, Bob putting the X on the car, and I was off.
Dad wanted to be a part of that, which was really cool. I think it was his mission to make sure that car, it had to make every lap that weekend, and it did. So he was very proud of that.
It's just a blast.
Community in the vintage racing that is focused on the cars and authentically preparing them.
It doesn't matter what you're running. If somebody needs parts in the pits, yeah, you're digging in your truck for that part if you have it, because you want them out there to run with you, for sure.
Every time I'm working on it, I think of those times with my dad. He just got me hooked on the British cars and specifically Triumphs. I can't answer for Dad other than that's what a lot of guys were driving around in his small group of folks when he was a teenager. So that just stuck with him. And they get in your blood, I guess.
My son loves cars as much as I do. He's the guy that researches and tells me, "You need to do this, you need to do that." Dad pays the bills, he tells me what to do.
I think he saw, maybe that was something he and his son and potentially someday his grandson could do together. First time he's owned a race car, and I think the car is a perfect fit for him.